My rookie year as a professional women's bowler. How much I made, how much I spent, and how my previous perceptions were completely shattered.
Take me to Candyland, ooh, take me to Candyland. Sweeter than sugar, you doing that dancing dance.
My previous perception, like in this video. And we're just gonna go over that all together and just the real, honest truth about my first year on tour and how expensive it can be and how rewarding it can be. Let's just jump into it. If you don't know me, hi, I'm Sarah Klassen. This is the Sarah Klassen channel. Are you subscribed? Probably not, because look at this. This is too much. All I want for Christmas this year is for you to subscribe. Just do it right now. So before too many people skip over all of this, what I did is I have my handy iPad here. Hold on, please. What I have done is wrote out everything I spent, and it'll be interesting. I have a prior spreadsheet I made of costs and what I thought it would cost, and I'm gonna put that here just for reference. Let me turn the brightness down so I don't look like I'm telling a scary story. It looks like what I had estimated the cost to be for 4 events was $5,383. Okay, and that's not too far off. Let's just get into it. First up was the St. Petersburg Open, and that was in St. Petersburg, Florida. I had made the decision to drive to all of these events because in my head, having my car with me made more sense, and I thought I'd save some money on flying versus just paying for gas. And another expense that people might not know about is you can put up to 9 balls on the PWBA truck, and it's like $10 a bag or something like that. So for a couple tournaments I paid to have them put on the truck and taken to the next stop, which didn't make sense because I was literally driving. So why did I do that? I don't know. But first things first, membership. I was bowling 3 standard events, so when you pay the $300 for the membership, you get $100 off on events. I think it's just regular season events. So that was the first expense, $300, okay? And then St. Petersburg, I drove. I actually went a little early and stayed with my family beforehand, so then I drove up to the bowling center on June 2nd for the practice session. And my total gas from Wichita to St. Petersburg was $200, first expense. And then, of course, I need to stay in a hotel for those 3 or 4 nights. It was 3 nights because I averaged $150 a night per hotel room. First mistake, did not have a roommate for the first 2 events. So that just literally doubles your cost than what it needs to be. And then with the membership I had bought, the entry fee was only $300 as opposed to $400. And for food, I spent about $30 a day. So that's the average I used for this whole thing, which brought food to $120 for the event. So for that tournament, I paid $1,070 approximately. How much did I win? $0. All right, so we're minus $1,070. Okay, and then last day of St. Petersburg, I'm watching and I find out I got into the Long Island series. My phone just keeps shutting off, so let's try this again. End of St. Petersburg stop, I find out I'm watching the last day, the women who had qualified, and I find out I get into the Long Island stop. So this is on June 5th, I find this out. And the Long Island stop begins June 6th with the practice session. And the Long Island stop was the 3 or 4 tournaments combined into one. So we had 3 or 4 patterns to practice on. And I will input my finishes at the first tournament, the second tournament, and the third tournament. It was just really chaotic. I had to drive 18 hours overnight to get there just in time for the practice session. And gas to get to Long Island was $150. And then hotel was $600 for 4 nights. And then entry fee was $300 and food, again, at $30 a day. came to $150. As you see from my finishes, I made $0 once again, no cuts made, and I invested $1,400 for that tournament. So that brings our running total to negative $2,470. The next event was the US Open, but because I did not qualify for the 4th Long Island tournament, I decided to drive home, which is absurd because I'm in Wichita, Kansas, my home, and the tournament's in New York. The next tournament, also in New York, and I'm driving to all these. So, yes, I drove 20 hours back to Wichita and then 20 hours back to New York in between, just because that's something I felt like I needed to do. If you saw this video, you get it. I talk about my feelings in there. I drive back to New York on June 14th, which added about $200 into my gas costs. Actually like $400 because it was round trip. But so I ended up spending $400 on gas for the US Open, $300 on a hotel because I got an Airbnb with my Team Canada teammate Felicia, which, boom, cost saver. Great idea if you plan on going on tour. You can make Airbnb and hotels super cheap if you go with a group of people. And then entry for that tournament is $400 because it's a major. I mean, if you look at a regular season payout versus a payout for a major, it makes sense why the registration fee is higher. For food, even though it was only 5 days, we ate better, got some groceries, and then when we ate out, we would eat healthier. So it was $300 for food for that event, which brought the total to $1,400 for an all-inclusive trip to the Women's US Open. That brought my total for the 3 events to $4,170. And how much did I win at the US Open? This is where I finished. That is not good enough for any type of money. I made $0 once again. Those 3 events, nothing, not a zip, just minus $4,000. And if you calculate in the Lucy that I bowled, it is about another $900 between a $300 entry, Airbnb, food, gas, about minus $5,100 for this summer. And that's just those events. I also went and bowled SBC Open Championships, so there's that in there too. The interesting thing about being a professional bowler is you need to pay to play. And in other professional sports, it's not like that. Basketball players don't pay to compete. Hockey players don't pay. That is just the reality of our sport and where it's at. And part of the reason I wanted to make this video, just in case anybody's thinking about going out and competing or taking that next step, that's what it is, and that's how it goes, you know. I don't think I'm the only one that's ever gone out and bowled 3 events and not cashed in a single one. It's realistic, and it just is what it is. That's why when I talk about completely shattering my perception, this video I made where I talked about what you can earn or what some people are earning was obviously not the case for me. But if you look at top earning players like Danielle McEwen, Shannon O'Keefe, those people who are making shows, making cuts, getting a check for themselves every week, rooming with more than just themselves, and know how to manage costs better because of experience. It's different, and it's different for everybody. But let's take a look at this clip that I had made in the previous video. So we got the $31,000 they won on tour minus the $15,000 they spent to bowl on tour, plus incentives for companies, plus other earnings of side tournaments and YouTube as an example. So starting from the top, those were the fees for the tournaments, the earnings for the tournaments, an example of incentives from companies, and then other income.
So we totaled $51,000 for the year, a little bit over. And then of course, let me make that a lot bigger. And then of course, when you deduct taxes and whatnot, it'd be a little less.
I only included 2 possible streams of income. So that will be it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I'm pretty open and honest about my experience. So that's all I got. I fully plan on participating in the PWBA again next year and hopefully having better results, but you'll just have to stay tuned and don't forget to like and subscribe.